Hello and welcome to the first preseason practice for 2016.
We will be taking you through the preseason reports and what all the team driver lineups look like.
The first team we'll be talking about is Red Bull. Red Bull have a striking new livery for 2016, which looks a lot different than last year's.
Red Bull changed their suspension design to suit their car in high-speed situations and have got a more conventional front wing to suit their car in low-speed corners.
Red Bull's driver lineup has changed since 2015 and have promoted Max Verstappen from Toro Rosso to Red Bull. And we see Daniel Ricciardo stay in his seat, and he will be wanting to have a better season compared to last year.
Red Bull needs to be better this year if they want to fight for the championship and need Renault to improve their engine reliability, as last year we saw multiple DNFs caused by engine problems.
Red Bull's pre-season has been rather disappointing, as they have been putting in slow laps and look like they are sandbagging.
Another team that are more likely sandbagging are Ferrari, as we've seen them put in some slow laps, but near the end they're putting in some fast laps.
They've kept their driver lineup with Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen. We imagine Vettel will be leading the team into the season, but stranger things have happened.
Ferrari once again have changed their front wing design, with it being a lot similar to last year's McLaren front wing. We also see that Ferrari has taken on another sponsor, that of Ray-Ban.
Ferrari's livery has seen almost no change, other than their engine intake turning completely white and losing a lot of the black carbon that was seen last year. A team that we can say has been disappointing is Renault. Renault have joined the grid again for 2016 with a partnership with Lotus F1, as they share the same factory and same wind tunnel.
Renault have adopted the triple engine intake design that was scrapped by most teams last year, as they saw no improvement to the engine cooling. Renault's drivers are young Brit Jordan Palmer and one-time podium sitter Kevin Magnussen. Renault have seen better days, as their new suspension they developed and put on Kevin's car has been demolished at the final practice session.
Renault are sporting a new livery of yellow and black, and now take Red Bull's ex-sponsor Infiniti. Now, a team everyone has been excited for is Force India, as they've put in some of the fastest laps in Spain during testing. And Sergio Perez said, quote, "This car feels amazing, never driven such a good car before," end quote.
Nothing's changed about the car to the naked eye, but most people believe that the underfloor has changed dramatically, making the car so good around this track.
We've also seen no change to Force India's livery, and also their driver lineup, with Sergio Perez and Nico Hülkenberg staying in the team.
Now we move on to Toro Rosso, the junior team to Red Bull, as we see Carlos Sainz keeping his seat and Daniel Kvyat being demoted from the Red Bull team.
Toro Rosso's side pod intakes have gotten even more skinnier from last year, and we see a very similar front wing design from the Red Bull teams from last year.
It seems like these updates to the car have not helped in the slightest, as we see their car putting in some of the slowest laps on the grid, and also seen that the car is very sensitive to damage, as they had to end their practice quite early.
Williams testing went pretty average overall, and we're setting some good, consistent lap times compared to the rest of the grid.
Their main driver, Valtteri Bottas, was setting good lap times compared to his rookie teammate, Brian Gallagher. Brian is new to the F1 grid and will be hoping to bring the fight to Valtteri.
The rear wing has been revamped, it seems like, compared to last year's, as the rear end is looking more stable. But apart from that, no change is seen to the car.
McLaren had a very good testing, as their signing of Jordan Miller was bringing the fight to his more experienced teammate Fernando Alonso.
McLaren was struggling in the straight line speeds on the track, as they were going on average 192 with the DRS open.
McLaren have pulled up to Spain with a new side pod look to try to counter their slow pace on the straights, so we will have to wait and see if it works in Australia. Caterham have entered this season being yet again at the back of the grid, and all funding from their main sponsor Rich Energy has not been received. Turns out Rich Energy pulled out because the car was not developing fast enough for their liking.
Caterham stick with their driver lineup of Kamui Kobayashi and Alexander Rossi. Their car has seen little to no change as they stick with their front wing design they had from 2014 to now 2016. Now we're going to talk about Sauber. Sauber have been the main talking point. As of recent, their future in F1 has been questioned by many fans and drivers.
Sauber's lineup stays the same, with Felipe Nasser and Marcus Ericsson. After Ericsson's crash in Singapore last year, many questioned whether he would stay, but Sauber have signed him on for 2 more seasons. They stick with the same car livery and have gotten a more conventional front wing design, similar to the rest of the grid, and will be wanting to get high in the standings to solidify their position in Formula 1.
Now we're going to talk about Lotus F1, as they have exciting new rookie Carmen Jorda, the first female driver since 1992, and alongside her, Pastor Maldonado.
The Lotus team have been working very closely with Renault, sharing almost the same design of car, and have been using sim data to help both cars. Lotus are now going to be the junior team for Renault for the foreseeable future.
Carmen has been working on her driving on the simulator, and it has been showing off as she put in the 11th fastest lap in the final practice session, beating out her teammate. Now we have reigning world champions Mercedes. They've stuck with their strong driver lineup of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg.
Rosberg will be wanting to bring the fight to his teammate Lewis Hamilton, and practice has shown as he beat him out in all 3 sessions.
The car's design has changed compared to last year's. The suspension looks awfully similar to the Red Bulls, and they have adapted the new rear brakes to have less rear lockups and heavy braking corners.
Haas now joined the Formula 1 grid. Being an American team, they have a lot of American fans and were wanting to sign Gallagher as their number 2 driver, but they were beat out by Williams.
Haas's lineup has Romain Grosjean and Esteban Gutierrez being the number 1 and number 2 drivers. Haas have shown a lot of promise as they were near the top in practice 2, but practice 3 saw them plummet to the bottom of the grid just ahead of Caterham.
Manor have managed to stay in Formula 1 by having last year's sponsors funding them into this season.
The Manor F1 car is looking very bare, and almost no sponsors are seen on the car itself. Both drivers have shown their ability and have put in their car.
Manor's driver lineup is brand new going into 2016, as they have both young rookies Pascal Wehrlein and Rio Haryanto.
Both drivers have shown their ability and have put their car in places it probably should not be. Manor's car is waiting for a big aero package to come in for the Russian Grand Prix.